Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of At Bat Recap. I know it's been a little while since I've been back. Life has been crazy busy. We ran into some technical problems that we finally got figured out. Kids' sports, we've been running around like crazy. The boys have finished baseball season. They have 1 week left of soccer, and then we're on to track and summer baseball. So, still got plenty to do with the family, plenty of things going on. Um, I've had a blast. Both the boys played really great this season. It's been fun watching them play baseball. They've been playing soccer, which has been fun. Both their teams are going to the playoffs for soccer. One of them sitting in second place, the other one sitting in third place. So, see if they can't walk away with some medals or some trophies. Looking forward to that coming up this next weekend. Mother's Day is today. We took Mama out to eat last night, celebrated her some. She's been taking a nap, getting to enjoy this. It's just been all around great. So I'm sorry it took me so long to get back, but man, I'm glad to be back. Uh, I think I got some good stuff in store for you. The last time I came on was right before the season started. I went to put out an episode right after the season started, and then that's when everything just kind of went wrong for me. Was having a lot of problems with some stuff. So fantasy's been crazy busy. I have been continuing that. I'm sitting in fourth place right now, having a good week right now. So we'll see what happens. I'm sitting in fourth. I think I'm going to stay in fourth place after this week. My team has struggled just a little bit the last couple of weeks. Had a good, strong first few weeks, but I've struggled these last few weeks, just barely winning. But wins are wins, so I will keep going with that and see what we can do. I made some big trades to start the season. I lost most of my top 10 draft picks to some big trades to start the season. So we'll see if that helps me or if I jump the gun too early and it pushes me back into the sell market at the trade deadline. Or maybe I just end up selling afterwards and not really worrying about it at the trade deadline. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anything could happen. Fantasy's crazy. It seems like every time I get somebody back from injury, I lose another great person to injury. So they're just kind of trading places on my injured reserve. It's just one of those things to deal with in fantasy. So, but now that April's in the book, and as always, what we think we know, we probably don't. Some teams, they're expected to dominate. Like the Dodgers, the Yankees, you kind of expect that from them. And then some teams you expect to dominate, I think the Padres should dominate. I think the Astros should dominate. They have a great roster. They're dealing with injuries. The Phillies, they have a phenomenal roster. They're struggling. And then there's a few unexpected squads that have really stepped up in April, even though it's just 1 month. If they can carry that through May, June, and July, obviously they got to carry it through August and September as well. But if they can carry that through the trade deadline and past the All-Star break, they might be true contenders by the end of the season. Right now, they're playing great baseball in April. They played great March baseball. As long as they continue playing great May baseball, then we may talk about them a little bit more. But there are a few teams that are starting to turn heads early, and I like what I'm seeing so far. It's been a fun season to watch. So with that being said, step into the batter's box. This is At Bat Recap. All right. So like I said, there's some teams that are turning heads. One of the teams to me that is turning heads is the Pittsburgh Pirates. If you don't agree with me, let me know what you don't agree with. Right now they're sixth in batting average for hitting. They were not a top 10 offensive team last season. Last year they were last in runs. Right now they are in the top 5 in runs. Oh, looks like they just moved out of the top 5 in runs. They're They're 1 run behind the Dodgers, so they're in the top 10 in runs at least. So that's something to be said for how they were. They're above 500 right now. Um, when this was when this was when I looked at these stats, they were just barely above 500, but I do believe there are a few games. Yeah, 22 and 18. They're in a tough NL Central. I mean, you got the Cubs, the Cardinals, the Brewers, and the Reds. All those teams are above 500. I think that is the toughest division right now in baseball. Just looking across the board, they're the only team that doesn't have a team. They're the only division that doesn't have a team with a losing record. And so it's a tough division to play, and they're 5 games out of the division lead, but they're only half a game out of the wild card in the NL. And the NL's tough right now. I mean, you got the NL East where the Braves are 27 and 13, the Cubs are 27 and 13, the Dodgers 24 and 15, and then the Padres right behind them at 23 and 16. So some tough teams to compete with. The Braves have a pretty easy NL East right now, if you ask me. 27 and 13. The Phillies are in second, 8.5 games behind at 19 and 22. That's not what we're used to seeing. I honestly was not expecting the Braves to be a contender this season. I don't know why. They've just struggled the last few years. They've let some pretty big pieces go. But I guess they do have Acuna. They have Ozzy Albies. They have a good infield. I just don't think they have the best outfield in the MLB, but hey, you don't need the best outfield in the MLB to be successful. So I don't know. But back to the Pirates. I mean, they added Ryan O'Hearn and Brandon Lowe this season, and they have been producing for this Pirates offense. And then I'll say it now just because he's up now. I really thought Connor Griffin was going to start the season on the roster. He didn't. They did finally call him up after a few games, but he should have started the season with the big league club. He went down to AAA, started slashing. They realized they made a mistake. He's doing fine for being 20 years old. I think he's played really good. Ryan O'Hearn batting .294. I wish the Padres would have kept him. I thought he was a phenomenal asset to them last season. I thought they could have offered him some money and had him stay, especially now that the team has sold. It looks like they're in agreement to sell on the Padres, so they probably have some money coming in that they could do this. Their pitching staff on the Pirates, I mean, they still got Keller and Skeens. Ashcraft has been pitching pretty well. Bubba Chandler not doing so hot right now. We'll see what happens. He's young too, him and Skeens and Ashcraft. That's a young rotation, but Skeens isn't pitching the way he pitched last season either. I mean, he's struggled a little bit this season. So I think teams have finally figured out his fastball. They've started to figure out some of his off-speed stuff, and they're putting 2 and 2 together, and they're making contact. So overall, I give the Pirates a B+, and I put them as a wild card contender for this season. So they look really good. If their offense keeps giving them run support, then these pitchers could probably win some more games this season. So I'm going to go B+ on the Pirates so far. Next, let's talk about the Cubs because they are red hot. Like I said, they're 27 and 13. I believe that leads the MLB right there with the Braves. So they are hot. They were on a 10-game win streak. I think they lost it, and now they're on a 9-game win streak, and they might have just lost that one too at 9 games. So almost 2 10-game win streaks in the same season. That's not very common. So the Chicago Cubs have been playing great baseball. I don't want to see them in the playoffs again. Last season, I was glad the Padres played the Cubs. This season, I do not want to play the Cubs. And especially after they knocked us out last season, I definitely don't want to see them again. They got a plus 50 run differential right now. Their batting is off the charts right now. They got a 253 team average, 215 runs, third in runs, average. They're fifth in average. I thought they were high in stolen bases, but I could be wrong. Yeah, they're not very high in stolen bases. OBP, they're leading in OBP right now. Lots of hits. So the Cubs have a really good offensive team right now. And on the pitching side, I'm pretty sure they have a pretty good pitching staff right now. 3.78 ERA. They're in the top 10. So who knows? It's 2026. Anything could happen in baseball. I'm just going to keep saying that because that's going to be my new thing. Anything can happen in baseball. It's 2026. PCA's having an okay season. Right now, Carson Kelly, their catcher, is looking phenomenal. Seiya Suzuki looks really good right now. They're not hitting a whole lot of home runs. Ian Happ almost at double digits in home runs. But he's got 51 strikeouts, very high strikeout rate. So take it with a grain of salt, I guess you will. They're beating teams convincingly. They're not winning 1-0, 3-2, 4-5. You know what I mean? They're putting runs on the board right now, and that's what you got to do in this league. You got to be aggressive offensively. You got to have great pitching, and you got to put runs on the board. You're not going to win these close games, especially when your starting pitchers average a 3.7 ERA. Imanaga with a 2.28 is the best pitcher on their team. The next best ERA on their starting rotation is 3.88. So I'm not too convinced that they have a great starting rotation right now. Matthew Boyd on the 15-day IL, 6.0 ERA. Like I said, they got to put runs on the board because their pitching is not that great. Obviously, the bad pitching isn't affecting them right now, but that will in the playoffs. You play a playoff team in October with a 6.0 ERA, they're going to light you up. So they'll get it figured out. I know they will. They're a good team. I thought they would be better. I thought they were going to keep Kyle Tucker, and I thought, this was their year. It still might be. They're playing phenomenal baseball even without him. And I'll be honest, the Dodgers are playing good baseball. They're just not winning the games I thought they would be winning right now. So the playoffs are up in the air in April and in May right now. So anything could happen. We'll see. Next, we got the Oakland Athletics. They kind of came out of nowhere right now. I might be one of the only people who was pulling for them out of the beginning of the season, not to win the division or anything, but just to have a decent season. I felt like they have a really good young roster. I felt like they're a good potential wild card team, but maybe like a third place division team. And they're winning their division right now, 21-18, just barely above 500. But nobody else in their division, the Mariners, the Rangers, the Astros, or the Angels, are above 500. And I mean, to be ahead of the Mariners, Rangers, and Astros right now is big. Excuse me. You got to use that to your advantage. Keep competing. Get out there, play good baseball, and go win some more games and expand that lead. Right now, they're 2.5 games above the Mariners and 3 games above the Rangers. So anything could happen. I know it's early. Everyone always says that. But to be doing this right now early is a big deal. So, I had Jeff McNeil on my team. He wasn't producing runs, RBIs, or any of that stuff. He's getting hits. He's got a 291 batting average. That's great. He's just not he doesn't get a lot of support as where he's batting. He's not getting a bunch of RBIs. He's not scoring a bunch of runs. and he's not doing a bunch of stolen bases, and he's not getting a lot of walks. But he's hitting the ball when he does. So that's just not somebody I need on my fantasy team right now. So Carlos Cortez is breaking out. Outfielder, 29, 356 batting average, 4 home runs, 99 plate appearances, 14 RBIs, 32 hits. He is having a breakout season. So, man, we'll see what happens right there. You know, they still got Nick Kurtz. They got Jacob Wilson. Shea Langelier's having a phenomenal season as well. Soderstrom playing great. Butler is not doing too hot. Rooker's not doing too hot. And I had Rooker to start the season on my fantasy team, but I let him go. I couldn't really deal with it anymore. I was needing to get some home runs. I was needing RBIs, and so I had to go make some trades and get some other outfielders. I don't know. Is it sustainable for the Athletics to keep this up? Their pitching staff's not that great either. But once again, if you're putting runs on the board and you're keeping teams to low runs right now, that's all that matters. Or if you're winning 10-9, great. You're giving up a lot of runs, but you're scoring the runs also. We'll see. You know, I think May will be the determining factor for the Athletics. If they can keep this up through May, then they might be an actual playoff contender. Tampa Bay Rays. How about the Rays so far? They are leading the AL East. They're tied with the Yankees technically, even though they're 25-13. The Yankees have played 2 more games, so they're 26-14. So, but they're still leading. They have a better win percentage, so that puts them in the lead. Even though that they have the same, the Yankees aren't any games behind right now. So they are 25-13, which is phenomenal for them. I'm really surprised by this. They don't have a huge run differential, plus 17, so they're not blowing teams out. Or if they are, they're getting blown out on their losses. So that's hurting their run differential. I didn't really talk about that with the Athletics, but the Athletics are winning with a -5 run differential. So they're only 3 games above 500, but they have a -5 run differential, which means they are getting blown out at some points and they're not putting a lot of runs up. So, like I said, we'll see what happens. That whole division is negative except for the Mariners, who are only +3. So the AL West, I think, is really up in the air. But I do believe that the Rays and the Yankees will keep this pace up and they will have a good season going forward. And I think the Rays have a shot to win the division. It really just depends on how well they play through the division through the rest of the season. You know, they got the Blue Jays, who are struggling, the Red Sox, who are struggling, and the Orioles, who I did not expect to be in last in this division. So anything can happen. Jonathan Aranda is playing phenomenal baseball. Their catcher, Nick Fortes. You know, I've noticed that when these teams have these catchers that are hitting well, the rest of the team tends to hit pretty well. I don't know what it is. Chandler Simpson, Junior Caminero. They don't have a lot of home runs. Caminero has 10, but the rest of the team is not doing too hot. Aranda has 7. But they have a few guys. Taylor Walls, Ben Williamson was 0. Chandler Simpson was 0. So they're not a big home run hitting team. They're moving runners around. Let's look here. The Tampa Bay Rays they're 4th in average in runs. They got to be down there. Yeah. 17th in runs. So they're not scoring a whole lot of runs either. RBIs, which they're going to be close to 17th in RBIs since they're not getting a lot of runs. 19th in RBIs. So, like I said, the Rays, they'll be okay, but they do have a tough shot at winning the AL East with the Yankees. Like I said, it depends on how they play in their division on whether they end up winning the division or not. Because, like I said, there's a lot of teams that are negative run differential and have losing records, a lot more than I expected. It's still early in the season. A majority of these teams are only 40 games in. So we'll see what happens. Anything is possible. Next, I do want to talk about the Atlanta Braves because, oh my gosh, once again, catcher is leading the team. Drake Baldwin is having a phenomenal season. Matt Olson, phenomenal season. Ozzy Albies, Mauricio Dubon. I think this is a player that, looking at him now, the Astros are probably regretting letting him go because he is having a phenomenal, I kind of want to call it like a comeback season. He struggled a lot. He hasn't played a lot of great baseball. But right now, Dubon is playing some great baseball. And that's what you want on your team, especially at the shortstop position. Ozzy Albies, Austin Riley, Yastrzemski, Michael Harris, all these guys are playing good baseball. Acuna Jr. back on the 10-day IL. This guy can't stay healthy to save his life. 28 years old, and I just don't know. He kind of reminds me of Mike Trout. He started getting older, playing hard baseball, and then just can't stay healthy. So speaking of Mike Trout, he's having a phenomenal season, so I can't say much about that right now. But, man, Acuna Jr.'s got to stay healthy if the Braves are going to have any shot at keeping this up. He is one of their star players. But 27-13, 8.5 games above the second-place Philadelphia Phillies. They do have one of the best records in baseball. This is a team that has a plus 82 run differential, and if I'm not mistaken, that is the largest run differential in the MLB right now. Yeah, I'd hate to be a team going against the Braves right now. Like I said, they're playing good baseball. I think the Padres play them soon, so we'll see what happens there. Our pitching staff has been struggling. The Dodgers have been struggling. We're keeping up with them. And, I mean, if you look at the Padres stats in general, they're 19th in RBIs. In batting average, they're 28th. In runs, the Padres are... in runs. Oh, we scored some runs. We're 21st in runs. Like, we're in the bottom half of the league in almost every hitting category. Our star players aren't playing great baseball right now. Our bench pieces, 28th in OBP. I mean, this is just not the season for the Padres. Same on the pitching side. We are not having we're 17th in ERA. How many runs have we given up? 22nd in runs. Earned runs, we got to be up there somewhere. The Dodgers have given up the least amount of earned runs. Oh, I guess I'm looking at the backwards. Sorry. We are 7th in runs, which is going to put us pretty close to the same in earned runs. So 14th, so middle of the pack for earned runs. Saves, we got to be up there in saves. We got old Mason Miller. He is a flamethrower. Yeah, 2nd in saves. So we're winning some close games. We're just not having a great starting rotation right now. Our starting rotation has been taking a beating. Michael King comes in and only gives up 1 or 2 runs, and then he doesn't get any run support. I mean, that's brutal. That's hard for a starting pitcher to come in and not get any run support. You know, I talked about them earlier. The Philadelphia Phillies and the Astros are not getting a lot of run support. And if they are, then their rotation's giving up 6, 7, 8 runs. You know what I mean? So It's just one of those things. Baseball is weird. Anything could happen, and that's just what it is, especially in the month of April. I don't know. I don't know if teams are trying to find their footing right now. They shouldn't be. They should be rocking and rolling. Um, but you have seen those second half teams who kind of stay middle of the pack through the first half. They get to the All-Star break right in July, and then boom, they take off. The Padres have done it year in and year out. So we'll see what happens. We're losing pitchers to injury, so I hope we can make some trades, get some starting pitching in there, and see what happens. I'm kind of disappointed in how the Rangers have played lately. They did get a win last night. They needed that, and they need to go win some more games to see if they have anything to do. The last thing I want to talk about, okay, is City Connect jerseys. Comment. Let me know your thoughts. I'm going to post some pictures. I'm looking at Atlanta right now. The light blue. I think they look pretty cool. They're not my favorite, but I think they look cool. The ATL on the sleeve. I don't know. I guess baby blue. I just enjoy that color. Baltimore, it says Be More. It's got the Oriole on it. I'm not the biggest fan, but I guess like some people, I just don't hate uniforms. It's just not something that I hate. Will I own one? Probably not, because I'm not a Baltimore fan and I don't ever see them inviting me to their stadium and giving me a jersey. But I mean, I don't hate them. They're just different, right? They choose them. They like them. That's cool. I do kind of like the weird C on Cincinnati's, the red and black pinstripes. Pinstripes is always my favorite, so I don't care what color the pinstripes are in. They're pretty cool. Um, I like the all red too. They do the red pants and stuff. I think that's cool. The Royals with the purple and blue are, um, they're pretty plain, but they look cool. I mean, the letter looks cool. I think they call that an ombre when the color fades into another color. I think that's pretty neat. Got the crown over the R, you know. Once again, I don't hate them. Um, Wis Milwaukee Brewers, Wisco. Maybe that's the only thing that might irk me a little bit is like the Be More and then the Wisco. Like, I know you're in Wisconsin. I know you're in Baltimore and you're shortening it up, but I don't know. Maybe that's a thing they say around there. I'm not from that area, so maybe they do call it Be More. And cool. That fits what you're going for, right? The City Connects is all about representing your city. So who am I to judge, right? Wisco. Maybe that's what that's a nickname for Wisconsin that I just don't know about. I like the cool little guy on the sleeve right there. Maybe that's a Wisconsin thing. I'll have to look into that. That's pretty neat. The the Pirates, I mean, I didn't even realize it was a City Connect. I thought they already had a jersey like this, but it looks pretty mean. Like the lettering looks mean. It looks piratey, I guess you could say. It's really sharp. It's got the sharp points to it, and things like that. So that's pretty cool. San Diego, I'm a Padres fan, so I like it. The Day of the Dead theme. I love the marigolds on the sleeves. The bone, it's not cream, it's bone color. So I like it. I love the cream and, or not the cream, the white and the green and the pink. That one got replicated big time once they came out with that. People always complained about it, but even like adult softball, I replicated it once, but I saw all kinds of teams replicating that color. I think a lot of people liked it. And it kind of became a pretty big thing. So I like it. I like the dark with the white or the bone color. And then Texas, Tejas, that's where we're from. I love that my two favorite teams are, celebrating the Hispanic culture, the Hispanic heritage. I think that's great. My wife's Hispanic, my kids are Hispanic. So I love to see that culture represented, and still shared with everybody. Viva Tejas. I love that on the jersey. This will probably be a jersey I will end up owning. In the past, we've tried to get tickets to the games. They've given jerseys like this away before they came out with this one. They used to have Hispanic Heritage Nights, and they would have jerseys that say Tejas. So I think this is great. I think that's probably why they lean this direction, is because those are some of the most sought after jerseys. So, you know, that's all I got to say about City Connect. That's all we got. I'll post some pictures on there, and we'll look at them. But April tells a story different, but it doesn't tell the whole story. Every year we see teams rise early and some fall off. But right now, the Pirates are dangerous. The Cubs are rolling through teams, and Athletics might be the biggest wild card in baseball. So stay tuned. Baseball is ever changing. You never know what's going to happen. And if April's taught us anything, it's that nothing in baseball stays the same for long. So, with that being said, we'll catch you next time on the next episode of At Bat Recap.